Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to try to do something a little different. I'm going to do a rapid fire review of the latest film I've seen in cinemas. This will be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not necessarily the biggest Marvel or MCU fan out there. I do think that there are some that are excellent, but quite a lot of them are rather generic. Now, I'm not quite so far on the grayscale as someone like Martin Scorsese, who thinks that they're nothing more than theme parks, but there is some merit to his argument, and I think Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is a perfect example of that. There's spectacle, visual explosion that are quite fantastic, especially one scene in particular that is so wonderful and exhilarating that it just makes my jaw drop. But a lot of it is just drowned in needlessly overdone jokes. I mean, I was rolling my eyes so often in the film. There are too few jokes that connected with me, if I'm being honest. There are also so many narrative threads floating around in parallel that it just doesn't give enough screen time to give enough exposure for substantive performances or narrative moments. I think most curious is that even though the Wasp name is in the very title itself, she barely has any screen time whatsoever. Honestly, a week after the film's premiere, I can't think of a single moment where she was in that felt truly meaningful or substantial. By far, Michelle Pfeiffer had the most interesting role here, and Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, he's always charismatic and funny, but I felt like a lot of the things that were happening in the story just had very little to do with them, at least as far as I can remember at this point in time. Much the same can be said for a lot of the other supporting characters, such as Michael Douglas, who does have a pretty spectacular moment later in the film, but even then, it's just paper thin. Dot as well, I felt didn't have that much to do apart from throwing them in this problem. The same can be said for Bill Murray. It was an interesting moment, but once again, so brief that I had to force myself to recall that, oh right, he was in this movie. It didn't feel really consequential at all. And I do feel like that pretty much sums up how I feel about the film. It's fun, engaging, the jokes are there, they're overbearing, but nothing is particularly memorable. Though I must say, Jonathan Majors as Kang is fantastic. I love his performance, his presence on screen. Though on the flip side of that same token, I find that Kang the Conqueror didn't really feel like this all-powerful being that he is supposed to be. Once again, I'm not the biggest Marvel Comics connoisseur, but he never felt all that imposing. Honestly, I feel like the times that he wasn't on screen, his presence, his oppression in this dystopian world was so much more powerful than when you actually see him in action. That doesn't rob Jonathan Majors anything of his performance, and I am curious to see what comes next. So overall, I do feel that it's a fun movie. It's fine. It's not bad. I enjoy my time. It's the perfect popcorn flick to just turn off your brain and enjoy a nice action film. But it's nothing substantive, and it's nothing that's going to make you reflect deeply moving forward. So it's a pretty mediocre start for what is a phase 5 of the Marvel films. Honestly, I would probably give it no more than a 6.5 out of 10. Once again, that one scene was so cool. I really enjoyed it. It is just visual spectacle, but when it works, it fucking works, doesn't it? Alright, that is all for me today. Take care, have a good day. As always, wishing you and your loved ones nothing but the best. Take care and talk to you soon.